श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदाहृते श्रीवासरंग परकालमुनित्रयाप्तलक्ष्मात्मरक्षणैतिद्युगागमान्तम् आचार्यभक्तिपरिपूतमनर्गशीलं गोपालदेशिकमुनिं गुरुमाश्रयामः। पराशरमुनिं वन्दे कृतपौर्वान्निकक्रियं मैत्रेयपरिपभ्रच्च प्रणिपध्याभिवाद्य च. So we have been fortunate to enjoy Vishnu Puranam as beautifully narrated by sage Parasharar to sage Maitreya. Almost we have covered 40 anecdotes, 40 weeks. We have touched upon the Srishti, the creation, how it was created, on what basis the Lord creates the Jivatmas, the matter, the universe, the Prapancham, and at the end of dissolution, when there is Mahapralayam, how does he take back all these things? How does he protect? We saw everything. We also touched upon the Varaha Avataram, the Nrsimha Avataram, and the Rama Avataram, the Krishna Avataram, and the Krishna Leelas we have been enjoying. Last week we enjoyed the Rasa Leela and the significance of the Rasa Leela, the esoteric concepts and the nuances, the philosophy behind the Rasa Leela, and what does it teach us, and how we are eternally subservient to the Lord, how we are eternally dutifully devoted to the Perumal, the Lord is talked about. And during one of these days, the evenings, when Krishna was ready to join and play with the Gopas and the Gopikas, there was a huge bull, a Asura, by name Aristasuran. The Aristasuran was sent by Kamsa, and he came in the form of a huge bull, the large elephant-like bull, the dark color, and its eyes were fiery, and its horns were very sharp, and it came as if it was going to pounce upon everyone and kill, destroy. Even when it came, the horns in its legs kind of broke the earth beneath, and it licked its mouth with its tongue, because it wanted to jump on people and start creating a havoc there. So it raised its tail and was jumping here and there ferociously, and it was not possible for anyone to tame it, control it, or hold it, because it was like the Manjivirette. It was simply uncontrollable, and it was so angered, raging bull, and it was kicking and pushing the rishis, the sages, the sadhus, and the women, all of them one after the other, the Asura, and everybody was running here and there, panic stricken. They all have none else as refuge except for Krishna. So they shouted, "Krishna, Krishna, please save us." And immediately Krishna came from the house, from his house, who was getting ready to go to the Yamuna's shore to play with the Gopikas. So he came. The moment he came, he started clapping and started laughing at the bull. He roared like a lion and started approaching the bull. When the bull heard this Simhanatham, when the bull heard the roars of Krishna, it already lost 50% of its strength, and it came pouncing to pluck and to cut the Krishna's belly. It wanted to push its horn into the stomach of Krishna and kill him. And the moment he started rushing towards Krishna, Krishna held both the horn with his hand, and he held tight both the horns with his hands, and he started pushing the bull. And the moment he started pushing, its legs went under buckling, and he gave a kick with his knee on its neck, and he squeezed the entire bull as if he was squeezing a cloth while we were washing the cloth. And he plucked one of the horns, and using the horn itself, because it was very sharp, using the horn itself, one of the horns, he pushed inside the neck of the bull and destroyed the asura. And the asura spat out blood and fell down with a huge thud on the ground. The Gopas rejoiced at the death of the asura, and they all praised Krishna for being a savior at all times, under all circumstances, in all situations. Whenever you yell for Krishna's help, he is there. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. We just had in Vishnu Sahasranama Palashruti. Whenever there is a decline of dharma, whenever there is a hatred on sadhus, in order to protect the sadhus and to destroy the chatrus of the sadhus, the enemies of the sadhus, to destroy the evil, he will appear yuga yuge, again and again. And that's what he has done as Krishna Avataram, in order to kill these asuras one after the other. And then what happens when Kamsa came to know of this, that Anishtaswaran also got killed? He did not know what's happening. Why every asura whom he is sending is getting killed? Whether it is Putana or Vatsasuran or Shakatasura, and everyone asura whom he sends is getting killed. So he did not know who is doing and what's the plan, because those days there was no communication facility. So the state of Kamsa was terribly panic stricken. The Kamsa was so fearful that it's going to be the final day for him. So he wanted to know what exactly is happening in Gokulam. Why the asuras get killed? Who is killing them? And sage Narada from the Devalokam, he wanted to put the two together, the Kamsa and Krishna. That's the ultimate objective of the Avataram, right? So what he wanted to do, he came straight to Kamsa's palace, sage Narada. The moment he entered into Kamsa's palace, Kamsa welcomed him with Argyam Padyam, means he offered the water in his hands to clean, he gave sanitizer, and then he also washed his legs, and he honored a seat for sage Narada. And let me know how I can serve you, sage. Narada said, your days are numbered. Do you know who is killing the asuras? He said, I don't know. I've been sending Rakshasas, asuras, to kill the person, the Vasudeva's son, who is supposed to be there. And I don't know who is the person, who is the child. So that's why I send asuras, but I don't get to hear anything from them. They get killed. So Narada opened the secret so far which is being held from Kamsa. He said it is none other than Krishna who is being brought up by Nandagopa and Yashoda. Do you know who is this Krishna? He is the one who took birth from Devaki. He is the one who is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. He is the one who is the 8th child of Vasudeva and Devaki, who is your final death knock. The Ashariri at the time of Devaki's wedding said, the 8th child of this your sister, for the wedding of hers you are celebrating, he is going to kill you, Kamsa, beware, the Ashariri said. Ashariri means the sound from the cloud, it said. So Kamsa immediately imprisoned them. But the eighth child is already transported to Nandagopa and Yashoda, and the Durga, the Maya, is the one who was brought from Yashoda, who disappeared into the sky, saying that the boy is growing up in Gokulam. Do not worry, Kamsa, he will come to you. And Kamsa doesn't know where he is growing up. So now he is terribly panic stricken. Vedanta Desika says in Yadava Bhyutaya, Vyataya Pita Vishopamo Abhavate. Kamsa became like the one who has drunk the poison. As if he has drunk the poison, he is now panicked. He is now terribly anxious, thinking how Krishna had destroyed all the asuras sent by Kamsa, one after the other, and hearing about the episode of Govardhana Dharanam, how he lifted the Govardhana mountain for 7 days without any interruption with his little finger, protecting all the cows and calves and the Gopikas. As a 7-year-old boy, how he could do it, how he killed this Anishtaswaran, the huge bull, how he sucked the poisonous breast of Putana when he was an infant. He resented Kamsa, resented his inability to do anything what was required with respect to the rise of Krishna. He slowly and calmly planned to destroy Krishna, because he was now being forced by Vidhi, the fate, that Krishna has to kill him. So Kamsa is now planning his own grave. He is digging his own grave. So Kamsa now he was thinking here and there, he could not sleep. So next day morning he got up with a heavy head, and he said, okay, what I will do is to send the strongest of Asura by name Keshi Asuran, in the form of a horse, huge horse. Keshi is a horse, and that huge horse, the fiery, ferocious horse, will go and kill Krishna. If not, if something happens in the unlikely event of Krishna getting saved by the Keshi Asura, Kamsa thinks that what I will do. He wants to send one of his scholars, Vedantic scholars, a great devotee of Krishna, a Brahmin by name Akrurar, who was in the palace of Kamsa. Generally, the sadhus work for such evil forces, unfortunately. So this sadhu was spotted by Krishna. Akrurar was spotted by Krishna, and he called Akrurar and said, can you do me a favor, sage Akrurar, because I am getting to know from sage Narada that it is Krishna and Balarama, his brother, who kill the asuras one after the other, whom I am sending to kill them. And what should I do now? I need to destroy them. And Akrurar was shocked. He was terribly hurt by that statement. However, Kamsa is a king, so he could not say anything. He had to hide his feelings. And Kamsa explained to Akrurar, he said, you need to take the royal chariot and go to Gokulam. Go to Gokulam, talk to them calmly, talk to them lovingly, affectionately, and show your love to Krishna and his father Nandagopa, and say that Kamsa, the king, wants to have a homam, Dhanur Yagam. He wants to conduct a Dhanur Yagam, and for that Yagam he wants lot of vessels of curd, butter, milk, all that. So in order to perform the Yagam, he needs all these accessories, materials. And you also bring Krishna and Balarama, who are about 15-16 years old now. So you bring those teenage boys, because if we let them grow further, they would create a, it would simply be devastating. They would simply destroy our palace, all of us. Because at this young age they are killing the asuras one after the other. Imagine what would happen if they grow to be men. So better to nip them in the bud. So can you please lovingly bring them, invite them and bring them here. Do not tell what I am planning clandestinely. So do not disclose all these secrets to them. Don't tell them, otherwise they would not send Krishna. Just tell them his uncle wants to see them. So even before this order can be executed by Akrurar, he wanted to try sending the Kesi Asura. And the Kesi took the huge form of a mighty horse. And Vedanta Desika devotes 13 slokas in Yadavabhyutayam. Sage Parasarar in Vishnu Puranam explains so beautifully about this Kesi Asura to describe the fearful, ferocious appearance of Kesi as a horse, to show that he was much more frightful than any of the demons, any of the asuras sent by Kamsa earlier. The sum total of all asuras itself is lower than the ferocity of this Kesi Asura. His teeth, horse teeth, were like Vajrayutam, the Ayudam of Devendra, and the hoofs were blasting the earth. The hoofs are like the Kulambu, the horse on the legs. The hoofs are simply blasting the earth with his jumping, with his galloping, with his foaming mouth resembling the ocean and the froth. His tail raising like a smoke, and he was spitting fire. He managed to press down the earth with his weight, which cost more effort even for Adishesha to hold the Bhumi Pirati, the Bhuma Devi. And his neighing sound, the harsh sound, was thunderous and deafening to the people. He came in such ferocious form, seeing such an animal enough to defeat even a lion. The Gopas in Brindhavan were frightened. They were again panic-stricken. And Krishna gave out a laugh again loud enough to quell the pride of the asuras and to reassure the Gopas, do not worry, I am there. Krishna inserted his arm deep into the mouth of the Kesi Asura, which came with the wide open mouth, to kill Krishna. He inserted his hand inside the mouth of Asura and broken the mouth, huge mouth, into two halves, as though the knife went into it and cut into two equal parts. And the Gokula became Sanatha. With the Yatunatha, the Gokulam became Sanatha. In the meanwhile, the Kesi Asurans, the death and is destroyed by Krishna. The news went to Kamsa, and Kamsa already had sent Akrurar. Akrurar started from Mathura, the Kamsa's palace, as per the command and instruction of King Kamsa, which was agreeable to him, because Akrurar is a staunch, unconditional devotee of Krishna. He had huge, enormous bhakti for Krishna. Akrurar was longing to see Krishna so long, ever since he heard about Krishna's birth. He was a sadhu, he was a rishi. He already had known that Mahavishnu, Sriman Narayana, appeared as Krishna, as the son of Devaki. So he wanted to have the darshan of Krishna and be blessed to receive his kataksham, his grace. So he never had an opportunity, because he was working for Krishna's enemy. How could he take leave and go? So the thoughts ran into his mind, in Akrurar's mind, when the charioteer was driving the chariot towards Gokulam, that it is so beautifully described by sage Parasara as well as Vedanta Desika in Yadavabhyutayam. The Brindhavan was compared by Akrurar to the palace and the place of Upanishad, and the Supreme Purusha described as Veda Purusha in the Upanishad, residing in the Upanishad, is now residing in Brindhavan. And sage Akrurar looks forward to see him, to see the Mahapurushan, to see the Paramapurushan, and attain the supreme bliss, Peranandam, Paramanandam. The place, he thought, was purified by the dust of the feet of Krishna, which is the remedy for the samsaric afflictions, which is the remedy for of our samsara sagaram. He Gopalaka, he Kripa Jalanite, he Sindhu Kanyapate. Kulasekara Alvar mentions in Mukundamala, Namami Narayana Pada Pankajam, Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadami Narayana Tatvanirmalam. So here Narayana, Namami Narayana Pada Pankajam. We have to perform namaskaram to the Narayanan's lotus feet. And here sage Akrurar was contemplating on Krishna's lotus feet, and he was looking forward to seeing him in person with his naked eye. He considered Krishna as the very Amridam, the elixir that gives incomparable joy, Peranandam, the eternal blissful, insatiable nectar he is. We would never ever be able to get satisfied by enjoying his Saundaryam, his Lavanyam, his beauty, his exquisite beauty. The large eyes, the creeper-like nose, the red coral-like lips, the chubby cheeks, the peacock feather, and the boyish charm, the impish charm, innocence. And as he was rushing towards Brindhavan, he was enjoying mentally, contemplating on the beauty of Narayana. Krishna's face, would it be like the moon? He thought, Akrurar thought. Would it be like the rays of nectar which comes from the moon? Together with his Madhura Bhasha, with his fragrant speech, which is like the fragrance of the Vedas, the Upanishads. It will remove the fever of samsara. He wondered whether Krishna would speak to him at all. He wondered whether Krishna would allow him to fall at his feet, perform Sharanagati, surrender. At the same time, he had a trepidation, the fear, thinking that whether he will get the devotion, whether he will get the darshan of Krishna, whom even the yogis cannot see with so much penance, with so much effort, they are not able to see. But here he is readily available in Brindhavan, and he is waiting for Akrurar to go there. And he was yearning, he was longing, he was enthused to see the glance of Krishna, which would be like the waves of Amridam. And he was really longing to see. So he felt gratified that in spite of him serving the wicked king like Kamsa, now he is blessed by Krishna to be sent by Kamsa to have a darshan of Krishna, by which all his papams would be washed off. Saint Nammalvar says in Thiruvaimozhi, Ennai orunal kana varaye, please come one day at least to come for me to come and see you. One day come in front of me. And Krishna, and it seems Perumal said, how can I come? You are such a Mahapapi. I cannot come near you. And Saint Nammalvar says in another Pasuram, you come and tell me that you are a Mahapapi. That's all. All that I want you to come in front of me and you say you are a Mahapapi. So, thereby at least I will get to see you, number one. Number two, by seeing you, I will have all my papams get burnt, get cleared off. Everything will be erased. So, you get to have two in one. So, Akrura, now if Krishna would not shower his kataksham, his grace on Akrurar, Akrura thought that even if he does not look at me, it is fine. I will have his darshan. I will have a look at him even if he is not looking at me. And that's enough for me. Nothing else I need. He expressed his hope that Krishna and Balarama will agree to come with him to Mathura and adorn the city. The city is lacking in luster. The city is deprived of any divinity because of Kamsa's presence. He wandered, and he was wandering on these ideas, on these thoughts, and he did not know what would happen. And he was wondering at the good fortune of the residents of Mathura by getting to see Krishna. They are going to see Krishna and Balarama. What a great bhagyam the Mathura Vasis will have. Akrura wished that people like him have the people like him have the physical eye and not even the divine eye to see Krishna, to know the glory of the Lord, and would enjoy the leelas of Krishna and get to know the residents of Mathura, the Brindhavan. If he comes to Mathura and destroy Kamsa, it would be so beautiful, and because that is where Krishna belongs. He can take over as the king after Kamsa gets killed, which Akrurar is very confident that if Krishna and Balarama come there, Kamsa would definitely be destroyed. He explicitly thinks that Kamsa would simply be killed by Krishna because he has killed so many asuras. This would be effortless. But immediately Akrurar became afraid of the harm that Kamsa might do on Krishna, because he, on the other hand, he thinks that Krishna is only a teenage boy. I hope he does not cause any harm to that boy. Nevertheless, assuring himself that Krishna would surely conquer this battle, conquer this asura, Kamsa, because nothing is impossible for the divine. Thinking like that, Akrurar reached Brindhavan and alighted from his chariot, and his Manoratham has come to a stop. Manoratham means the mind which was running like a chariot, running faster than the chariot, has also stopped, and now he got down from the chariot. Honored by Nandagopa and others, he was looking for Krishna while he was being honored, and he could not see Krishna. And suddenly he saw Krishna with the cows coming along with the Gopas and the Gopikas. After the Kesi Vadam, after killing the horse, he was coming with the Gopas victoriously. We will follow next week. Adiyan. Kavitarkika Simmaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Dhanyosmi Adiyan.